mind, it is like a gun. And you want to load it up with little itty bitty bullets of knowledge. Message!
What's going on, family? Welcome to another episode. It's your guy Boro, the Lucky Libra, and thank you for tuning in. All right, as you can see, we about to pick it up with Venus in Gemini. All right, look how gracefully the instrumental just dropped with that drop, man. You just see how Libras move. You see how his Libras move. Anyways, I digress. But we picking it up with Venus in Gemini. All right. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, what is Venus? Venus is how we value what we value, how we appreciate what we appreciate, what we support and what we want to relate to. All right. Where we find our pleasures, what we may overindulge in when it comes to our pleasures. All right. So we got to practice that moderation. But Venus overall got to find her pleasures. All right, so all of these energies also trickle down into our love language and how we connect and relate to others, what we want to pursue when it comes to others within what we already value. All right, now Venus in Gemini. Gemini is mutable air ruled by Mercury. All right, so all air signs dealing with logic and communication and relationships. All right, now this air sign is mutable and is ruled by Mercury, so it's dealing with the exchange value and is already in a state of already valuing the exchange of what other people think and how other people think, how other people view things. Already being mutable air ruled by Mercury. Mercury is how we critically analyze, see the details to things, organize our thoughts to communicate them to others. So wherever Mercury's at, we're real critical, and it shows us how we think and communicate. So it rules Gemini, so Geminis are real communicative. They're real relatable, all right? They're real receptive to the thoughts of others, and they like to build on top of that to gain more information. This is how they expand on being jack of all trades in some type of shape or form. So when we got Venus in Gemini, this person values their intellect. This person values relationships. This person values being able to relate and communicate. All right? Venus and Gemini need somebody to pick up and call, somebody to text, somebody to gossip to, somebody to relate that crazy news they just seen on IG, somebody, group chats, hella group chats. Y'all probably got the most group chats on Instagram and shit. You feel me? Stay sending posts to each other and shit. Talking about other people and shit, cause air's dealing with people and relationships, ideas, thoughts. All right, so when Venus is in there, she values being able to do that. She wants to relate and express what she values with others and build on top of that. All right, she wants to see how other people may deal with their others. Deal with their values, so she could intellectually build on top of that. Venus in Gemini, see, when we talk about Sapio placements, now we hear people that love being intellectually stimulated, people that love conversation. These people talk to you about anything, man. Anything, man. You feel me, Manolo? If you want a Manolo, you just gotta go out and talk to them, man. It ain't really a thing, man. You see these girls, you know what they like? They like this. That's what they like, man. That's for all my old heads, you feel me? Y'all young dudes, y'all don't know nothing about no Scarface, man. I don't know what's going on with the young generation nowadays, man. We gotta start making y'all watch some old classic films. You feel me? Get y'all posture back together, but Venus in Gemini, when you talk about going up and talking to somebody, when you talk about going up and flirting, going up and entertaining conversation, articulating yourself, expressing your values, trying to penetrate somebody's mind to see what they value so you can see how y'all can connect mutual values. This the person right here, Venus in Gemini. This the social butterfly right here, Venus in Gemini. This the person that's mutable and adaptable in all forms of relationships, mutable Gemini. You see these motherfuckers, Venus and Gemini. Y'all know how y'all move different. Venus and Gemini, you look at they sorts of friends and be like, hold up. How the fuck you got these type of business associates, but these your personal friends, but this your family, but this the area you be at a lot? Like, how you jump into all these different realms of relationships? That's what they value. These people, they have high principles in relationships, you know, as far as You know, if they connect to you, like just they can make you feel so in their personal circle already, just based off of y'all connecting off some mutual values, mutual interest type shit. This person start calling you a day one and shit. Like we met first semester of school. We sophomores now. Like I feel you, bro. We have been roommates for a year and a half. We tight, but day one is used for like niggas we grew up with. Like, but Venus value that. Venus value that sense of relatability. All right, when it comes into relationships, they spicy in relationships. They spicy. Y'all know what I mean when they spicy. Text me something spicy. I want the morning text, night text when you're not around me. Send me some pictures. Send me some a post. Relate to me. Connect some thoughts with me. You feel me? See how I think, cause I'm trying to see how you think. All right, let's explore thoughts together. Yeah, Venus and Gemini, man. There's a lot of when these people dive into their forms of creative in their artistry or whatnot, you know, the way they talk about love and relationships or connecting love or love trials or their multiple perspectives of relationships and the experiences of what happens in relationships and connecting to others and how to read people's minds, and they show out when they start throwing that in their music and in their films and in their art, and then they show out. Y'all show out, Venus and Gemini, because y'all know y'all experiencing a lot with relationships to the point y'all gotta learn to slow it down with relationships. Cause feeling lonely and shit, sometimes that ain't just like, nah, I ain't trying to do this for too long. Quarantine. Man, I'm gonna have to connect and relate to my boo things in some type of shape or form. Mask this, mask that. Me and this, we gonna still link up. We gonna still connect. Some way or another. If we ain't physically there, we gonna be FaceTiming. We gonna be FaceTiming. Venus and Gemini want to FaceTime. They ain't really want to talk on the phone. They want to FaceTime. They want that. They want the closest thing to interaction. They want to feel it out. Venus picks up on your feelings, what you love. So the more they could connect to some form of communication, give me that. All right, FaceTime me. Don't call me FaceTime. Let me see your face and some expressions. Let me read that. Give me more of a feel of what's on your mind when I say something. This is how Venus and Gemini thinking. This is how Venus and Gemini thinking. I'm telling y'all. These people know how to, when we talk about being mutable and adapting in different relationships and whatnot, like it's natural. Chameleons. Alright? Because Venus finds the positive in all forms of relationships, in all forms of associations. Venus finds the positive in these things. Venus wants to support. Venus sees what's to appreciate. So this could be a detriment because you could be too open in your relationships, Venus and Gemini. Alright? You gotta learn to build some more divine connections at times. You gotta learn to see when you're entertaining too much. Alright? You gotta see when you lost in your friendships, in your relationships, ideas and situations. And you gotta slow it down and, you know, value more of your own self-initiative thoughts. Because Venus and Gemini is really gonna express how much they value your thought. So we, like, with this type of placement, you know, people, y'all gonna attract a lot of relationships, like, through different mechanisms, but through that way too, because people know when they get hired for a job interview, they want to call you because you're gonna point out everything that's dope about it and more details they should be happy about, and you value their motherfucking thoughts and what's going on in their head and what they're expressing to you. Alright, you're mutable. You can feel it out. You can feel their goodness. You can feel the high thoughts they having. Alright? So y'all gonna attract relationships off that. People know you're gonna have a sense of value in that. Okay? This person, Venus and Gemini. This person has a deep, intense crave to understand the mind and understand like how people communicate in all types of shapes and forms. They're always comparing and contrasting how other people communicate. You know, when we talk about Venus, gonna show you Venus dealing with some self-esteem energies, all right? So these people, they gonna voice that. They gonna voice that. They gonna voice how they the details they see about things they value within themselves and others. They can start critiquing their values a lot with Venus and Gemini. I'm just thinking about scenarios of how adaptable and mutable y'all are, Venus and Geminis. When I say there's a crave to understand how people think, is like Gemini is such a dualistic energy, right? Gemini could jump into so much different communication styles, but remember, we don't want to overindulge where Venus is at. So you guys, y'all could jump into so many. Y'all could jump into so many different ways of relating to other different people. Like, you know, y'all trip yourselves up a little bit. Like a Venus Gemini person understand what I mean. Like y'all could just jump into too many different suits. And it's not like through a manipulative, negative energy, which it could play out in some type of shape or form depending on the situation, but it's more so on you're so relatable to you appreciate, and you're so relatable to the different ways other people can communicate. So this is a person that could be raised in the hood, go to high school, travel to prep school, then go to college, then have a career working with kids, then transition to another career working with elderly people, and through all these travels they was so relatable through it all. All these people from these different departments can come together and be like, they could all pinpoint, you know, the flexibility in this person, okay? The flexibility in this person, the way the person relates, because that's what this person appreciate and want to support. It's what that person relate. That's what that Venus, if you dating a Venus in Gemini person, like, you gotta understand, when you come home with stress on your mind and shit, or something went bad at work or some shit, like, they perfect partner to talk this shit out with. You got a perfect partner for that. If you gonna vent and shit, they gonna help you to see the bright side of some thoughts that may be low for you right now. They gonna help you to see that, Venus and Gemini. All right. So, yeah, man, they truly find ways to connect what they love. Like, they truly find a way to express that to others that they care about, Venus and Gemini. All right? They're very curious. You dating these people, they're very curious to understand what you into, man. They're very curious to play a role to see how they could support you, the ways you think about these things. All right? So if I'm dating a Venus and Gemini person, and you know, she sees that I do astrology and I'm always editing and finding times to record and going live and trying to do this and that, this Venus and Gemini person is like, they're just sitting back analyzing, observing how much I value this and how they could play a role in intellectually supporting me with maybe some critiques about that. All right, they want to embrace that opportunity to do that, Venus and Gemini. Okay, so shout out to my Venus and Geminis, man. Shout outs to y'all. So let's get into some names that we may all know. Jennifer Lopez, JFK, Al Pacino. I just did the whole Scarface joint, the Universe. See how Universe play? Tupac, Adele, Elon Musk. Look, is these not people that expressing their values, find ways to communicate, relate to so much different associations, groups that value different things? Tom Hanks, Nelson Mandela, Naomi Campbell, Mike Tyson, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. Frida Kahlo, Shakespeare. Alright, y'all, so that's just a couple of names to wrap that up. Venus and Gemini. Alright. Next, we picking it up with that Venus and Cancer. Alright? Until next time, family. Peace.